Okay, this is a video talking about how to deal with the Kuro deathplane, which is an area in Valley which causes you to die instantly to Kuro whenever you have both the stomp ability and also haven't broken the rocks to lead to getting feather. The deathplane goes from this bush down here all the way up to the very top where the platform is, and it's just a little bit off the platform. And in order to get through this deathplane safely, we have two methods that we can do. We can either spend a massive number of ability points to zombie Ori right the way through, or alternatively we can do a much easier, safer and faster method and not as costly in ability points, which involves using the cutscene from Ori looking at Kuro. So the cutscene that you'll see is this one. We just look out into the distance and then Kuro will be at the top. Reload before it saves. Now, once you're in a cutscene, you cannot die in any way, shape or form. So we're going to use the invulnerability from the cutscene in order to safely get through the deathplane. And in order to continue moving during the cutscene, we either need to be in range of something to bash, which in this case is going to be the lantern down there, or we need to have something to start a glide, as glides will continue during cutscenes. So dash or bash will cause a glide, or grenade jump will also continue during cutscenes. So we can use any of these in order to safely get through both the cutscene and the trigger during the length of the cutscene. So once we enter the cutscene, we won't be able to control ourselves anymore besides bashing, and what we need to do is we need to get from the trigger, from the cutscene trigger into the deathplane trigger. So long as you get past that distance, you should be fine, and you'll see or hear Kuro attacking you. And once you hear that noise or you see that, then you will have successfully managed to skip the deathplane, and the deathplane will no longer be functional. So one of the first ways to deal with it is a grenade jump, like that. You'll end up in the entrance of Misty Woods, but you can just grenade jump back pretty easily and then grenade jump right up to the top. The angle of the grenade jump doesn't really matter, all that matters is so long as you get through the cutscene and the deathplane. The next method that we can use is using a dash glide and a double jump, because a single dash glide isn't going to be enough to make it all the way over, so we need double jump as well, and you want to hit double jump before you hit the trigger for the cutscene, which is around here. And bear in mind that the position I'm at now, you would only be accessing this position from if you got the Valley TP and still had Stomp. Otherwise, if you don't have Stomp, the deathplane doesn't exist, and it's not a problem whatsoever. So what you want to do, this might take a couple tries as this one can be quite precise. There we go. You just want to do a double jump before you hit the trigger, because once you hit the trigger you can't do any more jumps, and that will put you into the deathplane as well as the cutscene. The next method involves using a bash grenade setup. Just simply do a couple bash grenades. You don't even need the lantern for this one. You can just bash straight into the cutscene, get killed by Kuro during the cutscene, and you'll be fine. The next one is if you have both charge jump, climb and bash, but you do not have grenade, then you can use this wall here, and you can do a horizontal charge jump off the wall, and this will not get you a glide, but this will get you enough distance such that you can fall straight down to where the lantern is and catch the lantern with a bash. do that. And then just hold bash and you'll hear Kuro killing Ori during the cutscene. And as you can see, made it safely through. Now, one more thing to note before I go on to the different areas, which is this area getting through, is that once you do this and you die during the cutscene in the deathplane, you will not be able to save until you reload the game. But you don't want to reload the game until you've broken the rocks and dealt with the deathplane permanently. So what you'll ideally do is you'll break the rocks and then using the save from feather or using a teleport save, you will save the game and then you can reload the game and then you'll be able to save again. Because if you can see, even if I hold down the save button, absolutely nothing is happening. So this could be very bad if you're then going to try and do something like Sorrow Bash and then continuing on through there and you are completely unable to save. Right, so time to move on to the next area in which this is important. So not from the Valley teleporter this time. Instead, it would be coming up through Valley in the normal way. So this area is coming up from Valley entry up through this bit from where you stomp the peg, and then you have the option of 2 ways to go. You can either go up to fast stompless, or you can go to the left and to the teleporter. Normally you'd never go this way to the teleporter in most routes in the game, but in randomizer this can be very useful, as if you don't need to check a couple extra pickups, or you could check those pickups later and you have something to get massive vertical height, such as a rocket jump or a grenade jump, then these methods can save you a huge amount of time. So the first method, we're going to use this frog. We're going to bash it a few times, and we want to get the frog to being around where the mushroom is, and you can either use its projectile or you can use the frog itself, and then bash your way through both. Make sure you catch the lantern, as the lantern is the thing that's going to give you the distance. Well, this is very lenient because you can use both the frog or the shot. And the cutscene trigger, if we get rid of the frog, cutscene trigger is right in the middle of these mushrooms. So long as you get the bash before then, you've got plenty of time to get to this and then bash your way past the bush into the trigger. This is by far the hardest method that you'll need to do, but this is a method if you have grenade jump, and there isn't really much of an alternative if you're coming up this direction. So what you want to do firstly is get rid of the frog, as otherwise it will block your way, and then you want to come over here, and then from this position you want to aim a grenade jump at about this angle. The angle is pretty lenient, and then after that you want to do a grenade jump, and you'll rapidly come over here, and you want to always be holding left throughout this entire thing, otherwise when you hit the ground you'll lose all of your speed instantly. If you're holding left, it will carry you across the ground very quickly, and then once you start getting close to the mushrooms, you want to do either a little jump when you get close to the mushrooms, or try and do a full jump much earlier than the mushrooms, and this will mean that you'll get carry your speed from the grenade jump into the air through the cutscene, whereas otherwise it would try and kill all of your speed and you wouldn't get far enough to hit the deathplane. But you want to make sure that you try and land somewhere between just after the deathplane and not falling off the edge, because otherwise then you have to do an extra grenade jump to get back up. So I'll show you how that's done now. And there you go. So that's what you want to do. You want to to try and time your jump properly. This is just something that's going to take practice to get used to. The main thing is making sure that you get the actual breaking of the deathplane, because if you fall down, then it's only a minor time loss. You only need to just grenade jump back up again, or if you end up in Misty, then you can just yet again grenade jump back over here again. And that is pretty much everything that needs to be said about this cutscene. It is possible to do it from the upper area here. However, the problem with that is it's almost guaranteed that you will end up falling all the way back down again, and this can be very, very slow unless you have massive vertical height gain. So you may as well, and also it's faster if you can do it from this direction. If you're coming up, then ideally you just want to go from this direction, but I guess if the clues are telling you that Valley of the Wind contains water vein or something, then maybe it's worth going up to the top, and then you can do almost identical methods of either doing a dash glide or a bash off the side, but then you will fall all the way down unless you can catch a rocket jump on one of the birds. That's pretty much all there is to say about this. So, thank you for watching. Goodbye.